Sky's the limit, the truth is on our side. There's no time for worry, let's show the world our pride. Whether another comes up with a surprise, we all will discover where our fate will lie. On a blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
Hello and welcome to TruBlu Politics Podcast with Karen and Anita. Hello, Anita.
Hello, Karen.
So today we are joined by special guest Marina G. Welcome, Marina.
Hello. Hello.
Thanks for joining us. So for just a bit of an introduction, Marina G is one of the amazing women who I have been privileged to meet in the past year at the Broadview, Illinois ICE detention facility. So Marina, first of all, so that our listeners can learn a little bit about you, what brought you to the ICE detention facility this past year?
It was actually an accident how I came over there. I am a caregiver for my 90-year-old grandmother and an aunt and uncle that live with them that has mental disabilities. And that morning, I was just happened to go drop off my aunt to her day program. And that's how I encountered with ICE. I was thinking they were a regular person having road rage with me.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We were at a stop sign. I let them go first, and then I followed behind them. I was on the street next to them, on the other lane next to them, and then waiting at the light just so I can make my left turn. And I guess they were gonna make their right turn or whatever. And then out of nowhere, next thing you know, they cut me off and get right in front of me and push me over onto the oncoming traffic. And I was just like, what the heck? And my poor aunt who has mental disabilities got upset and she was like, hey, like that wasn't very nice. And she started crying. So when it comes to my aunt and my uncle, because they have mental disabilities and that's what that's my field, I took it personal. I got upset. And I rushed up, grabbed my phone, ready to start recording to get their plates and everything. And next thing you know, it was ICE. And I was in shock.
How did you figure that out? How did you figure out that was ICE?
Because they were in their whole getup. They were, in their mask and their everything. They had their uniform on. That's how I discovered it was ICE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than that, I never knew because they were in it was a white vehicle and they had a white vehicle. I think it was a van, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they were coming. I was heading south. I'm facing south. Like I'm actually facing the facility. If you guys are familiar with the facility, there's like a stop sign there. So I'm facing the facility and they were coming from the facility. So they're facing me. They're facing north. And we both arrived at the same time at the stop sign. So I said, go ahead. Like I gave them, the okay, like you guys can go first. It's okay. Right. And then I made my turn at the stop sign. And like I said, they were on the other lane. They were to my right. I was to the left and I was like slightly behind them because I had another vehicle in front of me. And then we were waiting. And like I said, next thing you know, the light turned green and they gunned it. I was just barely getting my foot off the gas pedal, the brake pedal. And they just like swerved into me and pushed me into the oncoming lane. I'm like, what the heck? And so thinking it was road rage. And I'm over here thinking like, well, what the heck was that for? Right. And so when I realized it was ICE, I was like, I put my phone down and I'm over here like, what the heck? Well, what was I going to say and do at the time? Because, I'm over here like, this is federal. I can't report them to the police because that's what that's were my intentions to begin with, because I thought it was a regular pedestrian having road rage or not, driving correctly. So I was going to report them. And then I saw it was ICE. And I'm like, okay, I can't do nothing. So I'm telling my aunt it's okay, that she's all right, we're safe, but I am mad now. Now I'm
Yeah.
triggered. Now I'm like, okay, what was that for? Why did I get targeted? What is going on? And the only thing I can think of is because in my vehicle, I'm in my vehicle right now, but in my vehicle, I'm hanging over my rearview mirror. I have a Puerto Rican and a Mexican boxing gloves.
Hmm.
Oh God. Yeah.
So that's the only reason I can think of why they did what they did.
Sure.
So they were picking on me, right? I got racial profile.
Yes.
So now I'm driving away. I'm just like, oh, I can't report them, right? But I'm just like, now I'm pissed. Now I'm mad because they made my aunt really upset. And I'm mad because she's upset. And I'm just like, I call my husband up and I'm just like, telling him everything that was happening. And I'm just like, get my shirt out and get my flag out. I'm going out there and I'm going to protest now because what can I do? Now I'm going
So
to speak
up
my piece.
so up until that point, so that was what month would you say that was that happened?
That was in September, beginning
So,
early September.
okay,
So
so
that's
that
when
was
it,
early September. So the ICE operations have been going on for several months prior to that in Chicago, but not at the scale. Like they hadn't started the Operation Midway Blitz.
Right.
And we didn't, I mean, okay, so just for a little bit of information, Marina's grandparents live right down the block from me.
hmm
And I had been driving past that facility or, the street that houses that facility for the last several years and had no idea that that was an ICE detention facility until this started.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
you called me the first night. I mean, it was early in the morning, and you were following them to find out where they were going. Some of the ICE agents, and that's where they were at, right? The
Hmm.
detention center.
Yeah. Yes. And so, Marina, did you know that that was an ICE detention facility?
Unfortunately, I did, only because of personal experiences with a family member of mine who had been detained there. But this is like back in the 90s, though.
Hmm.
Um, um, Other than that, that I was a teenager when that happened. And
Hmm.
so after that, it was like out of sight, out of mind. Um, Kind of forgot about it, but I always knew, also because I've also had my background when I was in high school. I was a police explorer with U.S. Customs.
Hmm.
hmm
So I've had training with U.S. Customs as a police explorer. So um, being at the O'Hare Airport, they would tell us some things and like, oh yeah, this is what happens, and then they get sent over here to the facility, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know that place. It's
hmm
right down from my house, like. So, but
But
yeah,
you were
I
never
mean,
an activist as far as like
nope,
anti-ICE or.
nope, 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 nope. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I've like I said, I wanted to become a U.S. custom agent until U.S. Customs and Border Patrol kind of combined.
Merged. Hmm.
Yeah, they merged together. After that, I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I won't
Mm-mm.
do that. Um, and then yeah, I just, so never protested in my life. Never been like, screw this, screw the government. I'm not, like I've told you before, Karen, I've never really been into politics. I
Hmm.
dislike politics. Um,
And now here you are.
Now here you are.
and exactly.
Now
Now
you
here
realize why it's
I am.
important.
And
It's important to pay attention, but
yeah. And well, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
now you're on a podcast that is literally True Blue Politics podcast. So
yes,
welcome,
yeah,
welcome.
welcome. Yeah.
yeah,
Welcome to the world of politics. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
we swim in this
Yes, we do.
daily.
And, like Marina and I have spoken about it, Anita, you and I have been, living by this, mantra. It's like you don't have to do politics. Politics will do you.
Yeah.
So you might as well get involved and plugged in and engaged. And so so here we are. And then, of course, you reached out to me this morning because of the events of yesterday in Minneapolis and witnessing, everybody has witnessed different angles, multiple different videos out there. What happened to Renee Nicole Good, 37-year-old mother of two. I'm hearing,
No, mother of
well,
three.
I've heard both.
No,
I've
she has a
heard,
12, a 15. I don't read USA
okay,
Today. She has a
okay.
12-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Okay, so she's got three kids.
Yeah.
So a mom. And her husband, I guess, had passed away, but she had been living with her partner. And so she shows up much like Marina, you have, much like I have, much like Anita has. And things go very south. And you had mentioned to me this morning that it really triggered you, something in you, the PTSD in you. So
Yeah.
um, tell us a little bit because there was a night, an evening in September on September 27th, I believe, at the ICE detention facility where there was a tent and you were kind of running this tent that was administering first aid to protesters after they were
Tear gas.
attacked, tear gassed, and had chemical munitions launched against them. And so that was the reason that you were there that night. And can you kind of tell us about the events that unfolded that night?
Yeah, so I just, usually, as you know, I told you before, Karen, I don't um engage in the evening activities. I work third shift, so I'm not able to be there in the evening. I'm always there in the morning, afternoon to help out and whatnot and to make sure everything's there for them. But this that evening, um I said I was gonna make an effort to show up, and I actually had some donations that I was collecting. People had reached out to me that say like, hey, they have some stuff for me. They would like to donate, and I said, sure, not a problem. I'll go and pick them up, and that's what I did. And I was on my way to the detention center to drop off those items and before I had to go to work, but I showed up and things were you know, I like I said, I've never been there in the evening and you could just feel
Yep.
the 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 energy in
Yeah, the
there.
tension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I drove in because at that time you were allowed to drive in onto B Street and get really close to this is even to get close to the detention center. Um and man, like I said, that energy was just so heavy. And I'm a
Hmm.
person who picks up on energy, okay? So I
Mm-hmm.
felt really uncomfortable and uneasy, like, okay,
Negative
like,
energy. Yeah, like
geez,
there was something
like
bad. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And of course, I just was me myself was just thinking like, you're fine, because big crowd, because the crowd was huge. It
Hmm.
was a lot of people there, and people chanting, people with music, and then there's angry people. Then you got the MAGA people there and everything like that. And I was just like, oh, like okay, like this is different for me, completely different from the daytime, right?
Hmm.
And I get out of my vehicle, people that I don't know. I'm introducing myself, explaining who I am, and then there's people, familiar faces, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this person that he's been helping us and doing this," and then introduce me to other people. So I'm getting to meet more people as now these people became families. They're my tent family, we called each other, right? And explaining to them like, hey, I'm here to like pick up some donations. I'm here to drop things off. Like everything good here? Is there anything that you guys need? How can I help? We're just figuring things out and stuff like that. I'm parked in front of the tent. I have not even unloaded yet. I think I was there for like maybe about an hour or so. I had at least an hour for sure. And um someone made a comment saying like, hey, things are about to get spicy. And we're like, what? So when they say things are about to get spicy, that means that ICE is
Yeah.
Pepper.
getting ready to start pepper spraying us or something
Hmm.
like that. So right away, we already knew what that meant, that we needed to hurry up and get our masks and stuff like that and get ourselves prepared and start getting equipment for to be doing some Medicare. So I didn't even get a chance to even do any of that stuff. I had not even got a chance to like pull anything out of my out of my vehicle. We had food there. People were donating food for families that had been impacted by family, supplies that people were donating, like, and for the protesters and everything, all kinds of supplies. And when they were starting saying that, I was like, okay, like, let's pack up some stuff and put in my vehicle, because this was not my first rodeo with ICE attacking us and
Mhm.
destroying our supplies.
Right. Yeah.
So by then, luckily we had stuff in bins by then, because after every incident, you learn from your mistakes and learn from incidents and stuff like that, so that you don't go through it and keep moving forward, right? So that's what we did. We had stuff in in bins. Thank you, Karen, because Karen was one of my fairy godmother
You
who was
brought the
helping us
bins?
Hmm.
All right.
getting our bins and getting our supplies safe and stuff like that. And so that's what we were doing. We were trying to hurry up and put stuff in my vehicle and stuff, just to be safe. And in matter of minutes, I want to say, things just started escalating. You heard the flash bomb, and I heard that, it took me out of surprise, because I have yet to experience flash bombs. I've experienced being sprayed with pepper spray, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
Like the whole flash bomb. But like, I saw that and I was just like, whoa, like, scared the hell out of me, because not used to seeing that. That's not normal, right? And I felt like I was in a movie, because it was just like flash bombs after flash bombs. And I had I'm gonna call them team members there. She had came over there to pick up donations too, for families who were impacted by ice. She was picking up groceries
Hmm.
to donate. And she had her daughter there. And she had told me, hey, can I leave you my daughter here? I'm gonna go check on the other side, which is, when she meant by other side, she meant on 25th Avenue, because now we are exposed on Beach Avenue, and now we're on 25th Avenue, because that's the way ICE was coming in now, through 25th, since they put the fence up.
Yep.
And so I said, yeah, sure, not a problem. Like, meanwhile, I'll help your daughter grab some of these groceries and get them ready for you, so that you guys can load them up in your vehicle. She's like, okay, fine. So when she left and we got flash bombed, I grabbed her daughter and I said, get in my truck. Like, get in my truck and just get in there, and taking her to safety. Um, I'm then now grabbing my phone, because I was live. That night I was live on my phone, on my Facebook, because I go live on Facebook just for main reason, for my protection. So that
Mm-hmm.
way my husband watches me on there, and then whoever else, because if anything happens to me,
Yes.
there's evidence,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
So that's what I was there. I was live, and I grabbed my phone, and you could see me running into my car, and I'm freaking out, like, oh my God, like, oh my, like, not sure how to react. And next thing you know, here comes another flash bomb. You see people running. It's all foggy and
You can't
everything. And
see. Yeah.
yeah, it felt like, literally, like, you're in a movie.
War
In a
zone.
war
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you hear things. Well, it's the rubber bullets bouncing off my vehicle,
Yeah.
Mm.
hitting. And the young lady, the young lady was 12 years old, first of all.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
she was really young.
Yeah.
She was asking me, she's like, what is that? Like, oh my God, what is that? What's going on? I said, and I told her, I'm like, those are the pepper balls. They're spraying out, they're hitting the pepper balls and stuff like that. And I can see how she was very shooken up, and she was like, I kept on saying, "You're okay, it's okay, you're okay." And I think I kept, even though I kept on repeating myself and saying it as I'm looking, I think I was trying to reassure myself too, trying to like
Right.
not react and not get freaked out so that she wouldn't freak out, because if I freak out, she's gonna be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm, I'm not safe, and here's an adult who's getting scared, you know. So I had to keep try to keep cool and try to focus, and at the same time I was just like, I'm trying to absorb everything that's happening because I'm in shock. I'm in
Right.
disbelief. I'm just like, what
So
is going on
Yeah.
here?
did
And
they approach your car?
yeah, so then yeah.
That's yeah, so that's when they started coming towards the vehicle with their ammo, with their guns and stuff like that. And like the smoke was so thick that they couldn't see me, that I was in the vehicle, because they kept on passing us up. If I wouldn't open my mouth, because they were starting to go into our tent, and this is what happened last time. They went in our tent and destroyed things and ruined our surprise, break things down or whatever. So I grabbed my phone and I was like, look at what they're doing. And I knocked on my window. I said, hey, that's our tent. Get out of our tent. I think that's where I made the mistake.
Uh
'Cause
Well, you didn't
I
make a mistake. They
yeah.
should, I mean, that wasn't your mistake. They shouldn't
Yeah.
have
yeah,
reacted the way they did.
I'm saying that I exposed myself, because if I
Yeah.
wouldn't, I feel like if I would have never said anything, they would have kept on going and we would have
Yeah.
still stayed in the car.
Hmm.
So by me doing that, knocking on my window, saying like, "Hey, what are you doing? That's our tent. Get out of our tent. Like, leave our stuff alone." Well, I brought the attention to us, and next thing you know, they're looking at me and they're like, "Get out of your vehicle. Get out of your vehicle right now." I said, "Nope, I'm not getting out of my vehicle." I go, "I have a young kid here. I have a little girl here." I'm like, "I'm staying in the vehicle. We're gonna stay in here till it's all over with, because we're trying to be safe. I don't want to go out there. I don't feel safe. I'll leave once everything is done." And they're like, "No, no, no, get your car out of here," and like screaming and yelling.
Were they banging
Well,
on the window?
they're banging on the window.
Oh God.
Well,
And they're
and
masked, right? They're
and they're
masked.
yeah, they're all
they're
masked.
yeah, they're completely gassed up, because there's pepper spray. They had just
Hmm.
bombed everything.
Are they also
So
armed at that point? They have guns, right? And they're
yes,
banging on
yes,
your
they
window.
were like, yeah, they
So,
were
so
fully
the
armed, geared up, like they're ready for war.
what were
So
they
that's why I
wearing?
said,
What were they
I'm
wearing?
sorry.
Were they wearing camo?
Yeah,
What were they?
Yeah.
they were wearing their green uniform with their typical their BBDUs, their green
Yeah. That's
BBDUs,
their
and their
evening wear.
yeah.
Oh my God. They're I know they're such a joke. They think they're
But
like such
one thing,
posers.
Marina, when we were talking this morning that you had indicated was the contradictory uh commands that one of them was telling you to move the vehicle, the other one was telling you to get out of the vehicle, and
Mhm.
Yeah,
how
talk
that
about that.
kind of corresponds to what happened to Renee Nicole yesterday when they're yelling these contradictory, and how you had said to me, one thing that really hit me this morning was that you said that could have been me, I could have been shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's been um
So they
that's been
were
playing in my head. That's
Yes.
that's a lot. A
And
lot.
how
so
many
the
how many were
PTS,
there? How many were there? And were they surrounding your car like what happened to
Oh,
Renee?
yes, I was surrounded.
So
I
this
was
is a
surrounded because
tactic. Yeah, this is a
I was
tactic they're using. Yeah.
they were to my the one that was screaming to me and my left was telling me to get out of my car. And then and because like I said, I brought attention to myself from telling them to leave our tent alone. Now they were to the right of us, where the young lady, where the 12-year-old was, and they're knocking on her door
Oh my
and her
God.
window and stuff like that. And they're like telling me, get out, get out, get out, like move your car, move your car. So I'm over here like, I'm telling them, no, I'm not getting out of my car because I didn't feel safe. But then I'm telling them, they're telling me to move my car. So I'm like, all right, I'll move my car. So I turned on my vehicle because they're telling me, okay, I can leave. And I'm thinking it's okay. And then I'm getting yelled at saying, like, get out of my vehicle. So I turned on my vehicle just because that's what I heard, to leave, to move your car. And so I went to go turn it on. And next thing you know, they're like, hey, no. Now I'm being screamed at even more. And
Oh
then
my
to
God.
my right, where the 12-year-old was at, you have the guy with, I'm assuming it was the end of the butt end of his rifle. He's just banging on my window, trying to break the glass. He's just repeatedly, get out, get out. So I turned when I saw that he was trying to break my window, because now I'm not paying attention to what's going to my left hand side. Where the
Yeah,
guy was screaming.
sure.
I go turn off my vehicle. I pull out the key, and I'm just like, okay, 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 vehicle's off, like, whatever. And they're like, get out now, get out now. And I said, okay. And I have the keys in my hand. I went to go. I'm showing them like I hear, the keys are in my hand. I'm showing, reaching to like I'm gonna unlock my vehicle. As soon as I hit the unlock button, they whipped that door open and they pulled the 12-year-old. I was holding, the 12-year-old was like holding on to me, and she got ripped away from me.
Mm-mm-mm.
He got ripped away from me. I couldn't even, like, the guys to my right. I'm pretty sure they didn't know that she was a young child, that she was 12 years old.
You
I
She
don't
told
was
think
them
they
that she
cared.
was.
I don't
You
think they
told them.
cared, honestly, Marina.
No, they
Yeah,
didn't care.
They
and that
You
didn't
was the
told
care.
thing.
them.
I did tell them that I have a kid in the car with me. I go,
Hmm
I have a kid in the car. I did tell them that from the
Yes.
beginning,
Yep.
and they just didn't care. She got ripped out of my car to the point where she got her pants ripped. Okay,
Oh my
Mm-mm-mm.
God. Did they rip you out at the same time of the car?
so they no, because they didn't. They just swung my door open, and then I turned around, and I'm like, I think I even said, that's my kid. I'm like, I go, that's a kid. And then I'm telling him, I'm like, he's yelling at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm complying. I'm not trying to harm anyone or anything like that. And then I went to go, like, I can't just jump out of my vehicle anymore now. I had knee surgery in November, so I have to watch how I move.
Sure.
Okay. And so because he opened the door wide open, I turned myself sideways, but I had my hands up, and with my keys thing, I'm complying, and I had to put my hand on the door of, like, the door handle, and
Mm-hmm.
just so that I could hold my balance. And I guess he had his hand there or whatever, and he's like, "Don't touch me." And I was like, "I'm not touching you, dude." I'm like, "I'm not touching you." But the thing was is that when he said, "Don't touch me,"
Uh,
I made eye contact with him. You could see the rage, like his
yeah.
eyes bugged out. They were like, just like, you could
Completely out
Was
of
he
see
a
that.
white?
control.
Was he a white guy?
Honestly, I want to say he was Hispanic, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Just
No, I
like,
believe
but
it. Some of
it's
But
these guys are.
totally out of control that they have
very,
no
like, it was
control.
like almost if he had, like, I wanted to, if he did not have his mask on, I would have felt like that he would, like, was probably like
Foaming at
foaming
the
at the
mouth.
mouth or something, like, like
Yeah.
Well,
a,
a lot of these guys have criminal records. They are not, and they're not mentally well. There's something
No.
wrong with them. They don't care. They have 47 days of training now because to honor Donald Trump, these guys
Because
are not
he's,
trained. They're not
wow.
trained. And
Yeah, I
so
don't know.
the guide that they have for ICE says they cannot stand in front of a vehicle, and they can't shoot or take out their gun at
yes.
somebody in a vehicle. But yet
Mm-hmm.
they either they're not trained in that, or they just don't give a shit, and they don't,
Yeah.
and they know nobody's going to hold them accountable.
Right.
They're over there just playing, soldier, and it's very. I can't even imagine what that little 12-year-old girl, that she must be
You
totally
know,
traumatized.
yeah. And I mean, and yeah, doing that to children, and then, let alone doing it to adults, who it's we are, private citizens who are exercising our First Amendment right to assemble and protest, right?
And you didn't do anything wrong.
And
You weren't breaking
yeah,
law.
Marina, you sure didn't do anything wrong. No, and the people that were there, they were assembling. They were, like you said, there's music, there's, yeah, there are some people that are, maybe using some spicy language towards the ICE agents, but that's First
No, it's
Amendment
abuse.
right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not,
right.
that
Yeah,
is totally
literally the people's
covered.
weapon was their mouth. The only
Exactly.
weapons we
Did
had
they
was our mouth.
Right.
Did they ask you to identify yourself? Did they ask you for identification, any kind of papers or?
Nothing. They just, when they had me get out of the vehicle, like they were pushing me to like go because they were trying to like clear everyone out, and they were like pushing me, go over there, just screaming. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, where's the little girl? Like I kept on asking, where is the little girl? I need to find the toilet. And they're like, and basically telling me they don't care. And I'm like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I need to find the little girl.
Oh my
And it was
God.
one agent who was telling me, he's like, just she's okay, she's fine. I'm like, no, I need to know. I'm like, I need to know where she's at. I need to find her. And I'm barely just getting to the end of my truck, and I'm getting pushed at and whatever, and getting like shoved to like keep going. And I go, I'm not leaving. I need to know where this young girl's at. I'm like, I need to know where the 12-year-old's at. And then one officer's trying to like tell the other officer what's going on. But then you had the other officers who were just a bunch of dicks that just didn't care. And I'm screaming. And then here comes the mother screaming towards me, screaming for her mom, like, my daughter, where's my daughter? And I thought, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I told her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. They ripped her out of my hands. Like they took us out of our vehicle. I tried. And she's screaming for her now. Now, by then, I learned her name because I didn't even know her name.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not
Jesus.
know her name.
That's how quickly it happened. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let me ask you, do they have jurisdiction? I mean, I don't think they do. I don't think ICE has jurisdiction or the right to pull you out of your car like that. They are not law enforcement, they're ICE.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, and I think so much of this is unknown right now too, Anita. And so, I mean, they have, know your rights trainings, right, with the rapid responders and, with Indivisible puts these, trainings
Well,
out so that
I
people
know.
understand, but,
But they
unfortunately, I
can't
mean,
pull you. Wait a minute. If you tell them they can't come in your house, they can't. So
right, but
isn't
they
that the same
can,
as
well, no, because remember Frank Fulgluzzi when we had him on.
yeah,
If
but there
you're
has to be.
yes, if you're there, they can actually legally go through your car.
But
Now,
there doesn't
can
have
they
to be some probable
pull?
cause.
Yeah, well,
I would think
I
so because
I
if you
don't
get pulled over for a ticket, they can't just search your car unless they smell marijuana or something like that.
there has to be probable cause, but of course we know with law enforcement that doesn't, that
But these
doesn't
aren't
happen.
really
And
law
certainly,
enforcement.
right, with law,
How would
well,
they?
right, but it doesn't happen with law enforcement. I don't think that it's happening with these ICE agents.
But law
So
enforcement is
everything,
trained,
but everything that they're doing is illegal. We know that.
right? And
And
nobody
that's why it is important to like have
document.
this document the stories that Marina has, her experiences and what everybody has witnessed. And, eventually, we should have justice if things go the way they're supposed to go this year.
Marina, let me
Yeah.
ask you: did you tape that whole experience, or most of it, or any of
I
it?
was still live. I was still live
So
when
Mhm.
you
that
do
all that.
have a tape of it. You do have video of it.
We're looking for because of course Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, the new thing is that they will delete the videos after a certain period of time. Um, and it's just different. Like you could in the moment save that video indefinitely. Like I remember because I would go live all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
just in the last, I'm going to say year and a half, maybe, they switched it so that you don't have that option when you make the video. You're supposed to get an alert. And I think Marina, you said that you got an alert, but then
Hmm.
you can't find the video.
I can't find. I'm telling you, I know I saved it,
Yeah.
and it was just so weird because after the 27th, anything else that I had, like after the 27th, I noticed that my phone has been acting very weird.
Right. Yep.
It was glitching.
Yep.
When I try to show certain videos, it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me play it, but then I'll hear voices in the background, like music, and
Really?
yeah. And I was just telling, like, I go, look, I'll show my husband, like, look it, I have nothing open, no apps are open, no nothing, but I'll hear voices and music and all that stuff to the point where, in order for it to stop, I literally had to reboot my phone.
Yeah.
Well, they're using that. What is that technology, Karen? Where they're tracking protesters.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, no, this it's for real. I mean, they've got the towers set up. I can't remember the name of it, but where they have the towers set up at the facility. So that's why, they were telling everybody to put their phones in airplane mode, and then also using facial recognition. So
Mhm.
yeah, but if you were there live streaming, they probably, were able to tap into the phone. And I know I was live streaming there, so I know I have noticed as well that my phone has been acting weird, especially with communicating, sending messages and things.
Mhm.
I've
I mean,
noticed
to
a
this
big
day,
difference.
I'll have moments and stuff like that. It was just like I'll be fine one moment, and like I was actually fine for a while, and then until that whole Elgin thing happened all over again, and when Chrissy Nome showed up too,
Yeah,
all of a sudden my phone was acting up all over again. Like people were saying like, "Hey, you got me blocked." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like I've been trying to text message, and it says that the text at the subscriber at the moment has whatever it was saying something, and then saying that I
hmm,
had to block them, and I'm like, "Have you blocked?"
right.
And or tried calling me, and it was saying that the call was being blocked, and I'm like, what the heck? And yeah, sure enough,
Are
I
you
will call
turning your
someone
phone
that
off? Are you turning your phone off when you go to the detention center
Well,
or
you
I
hadn't.
honestly I have not gone to the detention center as much as like I used to
Mhm.
for a few reasons. It's been a trigger for me.
If you
Um,
got PTSD, I'm sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
And well,
oh
and
yeah, I do.
well, in Marina today, I mean, if you want to share, I mean, this definitely was a trigger for you seeing that video yesterday.
God, I bet.
Yeah, it was. It 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 took a minute for me to wrap my head around all this. I saw the video, and the moment that I heard all the screaming and the yelling from ICE telling her stuff, get out of the car, move the car, all that screaming and then shooting, that gave me flashbacks because
Oh my
that was
God.
Yeah.
that that was
That could
me.
have been you.
That exactly. And I work third shift, so I usually sleep in the evening. I did not sleep at all yesterday because every time I close my eyes, I will hear Renee's version of the video, and then I'll open my eyes again, and I'm like, okay, like
It would be
try to calm
you.
myself down, like try to, psych myself
Yeah.
out. Then I close my eyes again. Then I'm hearing what I went through. And it's like I could not stop and help and think like Renee was probably confused and freaked out just like I was
Yes.
and did not know how to react just like I did not know how to react. And
Yeah.
that's why I turned on my car.
Yeah.
Like, and she probably just like she was reversing and trying to leave
She
too,
seemed
Right.
panicky. She seemed panicky, and I've been researching about her. She has an Instagram account. That's it. She describes herself as a wife, mother, poet, and shitty guitar player from Colorado. She had lived in
Right. She,
Colorado
so she
Springs.
wasn't she wasn't an
She
activist.
wasn't
She
an
literally,
activist.
yeah.
She wasn't on Twitter. She wasn't
And
on anything else but Instagram.
just like me, I am like literally I have TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, but guess what? I'm more active on Facebook. TikTok, I don't know how to work TikTok.
I
I
know it's
have
I
TikTok
don't
because of
either.
my
for the
daughter.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, my kid uses my social media. So like if anyone went on my TikTok, they can see that I barely posted anything. It was just there to go bullshit, look at videos and stuff like that. My
Yeah.
kid was the one mainly using it. And so like I just could not help to think like I could have been a Renee. I
Yes.
could have been if how these ICE agents were behaving right now, if they were actually behaving like that in the
Yeah.
beginning on the 27th,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know.
that would have been me.
That would have been you.
That would have
These
been me.
people, they have to be held accountable. I mean, for closure for people like you.
If you like what you're hearing, please consider subscribing to TruBlu Politics Podcast on Patreon. at any level you can. It is so appreciated and so needed. Anita and I would love to be able to increase the frequency of episodes. We would like to upgrade equipment to make these podcasts even higher quality. But, we have day jobs. We can't do this without support from our loyal listeners and our TruBlu crew politics podcast subscribers. And at any level, you will get additional content as well as be a part of our TruBlu crew podcast chat room, where we can interact with you all and hear back. Give us some feedback. Whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on, please consider giving us 4 stars, 5 stars, and a review. We love hearing from you, and we couldn't do it without you. So please consider subscribing. Buy me a coffee. Buy Anita a coffee. And keep the fight going. We are living through unprecedented times with attacks on our democracy and our rights. So we want to continue to be voices in the resistance, and along with you, keep fighting the fight against this autocratic regime. Thanks, everybody. We love you.
Yes.
We need justice. We need justice.
Yeah,
absolutely. And and so that then it is. Well, what do we do? How do what do we do? What can we do? And so Anita and I, of course, talk about this all the time. The need for the midterms are coming. The need for educating people, getting voters registered, making sure that we vote in as many. You may never have voted before. You may never have done politics before. But the fact is, we all have to get out and we all have to elect Democratic legislators so that they have the numbers so that they can launch the investigations, hold the hearings.
That's right. And hold these people accountable.
Hold these people accountable.
Because they're not going to be held accountable under Republicans. They're just not.
No.
Because my grandmother's 90 years old. She doesn't get out much and stuff like that. And I know she didn't vote these last elections and stuff like that. And she told me, she's like, oh, I didn't vote because I missed the deadline to turn in my thing. And her to go out there and stuff like that. It's a lot for her. But
her absentee ballot, was that what she's talking about, or her registration? Is she registered to vote?
For her, no, she's registered to vote. It was just to cast her ballot through mail. Like, how you can, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys have mail-in ballots.
Well, yeah. And but the beautiful thing in Illinois and, Cook County about is that if you have a mail-in ballot, you can drop it off at the polling place on the day of the election even.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So this time coming around, when it's time, I'm going to make sure now.
Grandma's better get her ballot ready.
She's gonna get her voted.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody else that make sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, for sure. Like, yeah, I'm just.
It matters. Elections matter, and people need to understand that.
And so when it comes to politics, as far as I go, I will make sure that I vote. That I will put my civic duty and making sure I always vote. This past election, I was just like, there's no one I really care for, but you know what? I am going to vote for this person because I sure don't want this other guy there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was, like I said, I don't really get into politics. For me, my opinion is I feel like all politicians are liars. They're just got to figure out which one's the better, who's the best at lying or whatever,
Well, all politicians to say that. I mean, most people lie occasionally. We all lie, right? So to say that, I mean, we're talking about we look at Republicans. They lie about big things, okay? Yeah. All the friggin' time.
They can have real consequences.
That have consequences in people's lives. Like they're lying right now about what happened to Renee Good. I mean, they're gaslighting us.
Like literally seconds after it happened.
But I want to say something else. When you say, well, all politicians lie, that's what Republicans want you to think.
Yes.
That people to say that you're cynical about why bother to vote even?
Right. Well, and I think it's a narrative too, Anita. You and I have spoken about that the media kind of pushes that narrative as well, that both sides do it,
both
right?
sides. Yeah, the both siderisms. And I mean, it's just obvious the Republican Party is batshit crazy and evil now.
Yeah. And this
Donald
is
Trump's
from,
exposing.
and let's just give a little context. This is from two older women who have been swimming in politics forever and paying attention to both parties forever.
Yeah.
So
for a long time.
For a long time.
When I was like 15, I was watching Reagan and writing notes on Iran-Contra.
Right, exactly. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and play. This is what Kristi Noem had to say yesterday, just moments after Renee Nicole Good was murdered by ICE agents.
You asked about a shooting that we just had in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased. We're continuing to gather more information, but this goes to show the assaults that our ICE officers and our law enforcement are under every single day. These vehicle rammings are domestic acts of terrorism. We're working with the Department of Justice to prosecute them as such. We will continue to protect our ICE officers.
So there's the lie from yesterday.
There's lies, and then there's those lies. I mean,
there's like, you can keep your doctor.
I did not see a single cell surrounding their car where they were stuck.
No,
it was all a lie. What she's saying was a complete lie.
Yes,
all of it, and that they have a problem with these people assaulting ICE officers. Are you kidding me? They have gone to court with these charges, and they've been dismissed because the videos are out there. And when the videos show up, they're shown that they're liars. There was one there in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there
These
was.
guys
Remember the woman who was shot in Chicago? They said that she was trying to ram their vehicle, or rammed their vehicle, I think was the lie.
Oh, and the south side,
Yes.
That was down the street from my friend's house, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like Karen said, there's, you can keep your doctor.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Or, it's like kind of misspeaking or whatever. And then the thing, the thing that I've noticed between Democrats versus Republicans is if the Democrats are inaccurate or whatever, or wrong about something, they will come out and admit it. But of course, you never hear about the correction, right? People don't hear about the correction. So I see how potentially, if you're not really tuned in and paying attention, it can come off that way. And
especially when you have Republicans always, talking about it. No, look, they lied about this, and they make it bigger than it was. Okay.
Right.
And then they never talk about how, and not only that, but they also usually take it out of context.
Sure.
They do that all the time.
Of course. So here, we'll play, Anita sent me the video from this morning. This is what she is saying today.
People need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism, because it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law enforcement operations and then to run over anybody who gets in their way while they go out there and try to disrupt peace and public safety, and Americans deserve better.
Did you get trained on how to ram your car into people?
Yeah.
I guess I missed that class.
I missed that class too.
And it's funny because she's saying all that, but that's what
that's what they're doing.
That's exactly.
That's exactly. They did it to you. They did it to you when you first encountered them.
Yeah, exactly. By accident. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and then after they pulled me out, and then as they're telling me to get out, then they shot at me.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
They shot at me, trying to get me to hurry up they shot at my feet.
Yeah.
And,
with a gun?
I didn't know they were shooting at my feet, but I was shot, and you hear me jumping and screaming.
Oh my God.
Was it the rubber bullets?
Rubber bullets, or was it an actual bullet? Do you know? Okay.
I don't even know. I just know I got shot at, and I was like jumping in the air and just like having my hands up in the air, like I'm not doing it again. I'm moving, because I
Wow.
was like freaked out because I'm like, what the heck?
I
Right.
mean, that's what I'm saying. They're not law enforcement. Police could not act like that. Okay?
No.
If you were stopped by a police officer, they would not behave that way.
Well,
Maybe
we
an
would know
extreme,
who they were, first of
yeah, we
all.
would have their badge number, we would see their faces,
Yeah.
and they have to wear body cam.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time in Chicago, they weren't wearing body cam. I don't even know if they were told they have to, but are they? They're in Chicago now?
I mean, they've been gone for, what, maybe a month or so. They've been gone. So, I mean, we haven't, it's been relatively quiet, but they're back.
Yeah, I think the when they were the last time that they were here, now I saw on one of them, like when there was a video from a rapid responder saying like, "What's your badge number?"
Mhm.
And they had some kind of yellow tape with some kind of like number, like, "Oh, I'm this, and that." And I'm like, "Oh, is that now their new badge number? That's how they're identifying themselves?"
I
Sure.
bet they don't have badge numbers.
They
Just like they don't
probably
have
don't.
training.
No. And who knows if it's even a real legit, identifier? I mean, they could have something completely, put whatever name on there with some random number. And like, how are you supposed to really know? Because who are you reporting it to? The
Yeah.
misconduct to, right?
And I'm telling you, they have criminal records. The Daily Beast did a big story about that. They don't
Yeah.
vet these guys.
Yeah.
They're offering them all these money. These people don't have to, pass anything but a
And
basic.
they're recruiting them. Where are
They're
they
recruiting
recruiting
in
them from?
NASCAR and NRA and conventions and gun shows. That's where they're recruiting them. And at these religious, like Turning Point USA crap,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think that, it's nothing new. And it's, what happened in Minnesota is nothing new in
or
terms
surprising.
of, or surprising. I mean, but it is absolutely, I think, the way it played out and the fact that it was on, video and that, because look, and, people keep saying they're shooting citizens now. Well, okay, yes, they're shooting citizens, and that is absolutely horrible. But what kind of bothers me when they make the
Yeah.
emphasis on the fact that she's a citizen? What
Right.
about the father who was picking up his children in Franklin Park that was murdered?
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
they
so because they identified him or said that he was undocumented, that doesn't carry the same weight. That is a problem to me because nobody should ever be treated like that in this
I
country.
no, they
Nobody, and
shouldn't, but
even that father should have, if they had a warrant for him, that's one thing. But that was never maintained. That was never something that was in the calculation at all. They were literally racially profiling him. They murdered him without cause.
it's the escalation. When
And
they
it
go
is.
after American citizens,
Mm-hmm.
people are, I mean, it's justifiably more scared
Mm-hmm.
as Americans because, if you think this could happen to you or your neighbor, it just is that's just the reality.
It
And
is.
here,
Well, it is. And I mean, and I was saying to Marina this morning, now that there are going to be white women that are being shot and killed by these people, is this going to be the catalyst that makes people
well,
wake up and get angry about this? What's going on? Because
and
I was angry. I mean, honestly, Anita, and I know you were too. I was angry when, just hearing that they were racially profiling. I'm
oh,
angry about the
I
people who
know.
are dying in custody, you know?
But they're
So,
racially profiling Americans, okay? That's what they're
hmm
doing. They're
yeah.
racially
Oh,
profiling. They're
yeah.
going after Somalians now.
Hmm.
But part of what I think sent you this. One of the things that bothers me is the FBI is saying they're not going to allow, or the DOJ is saying they're not going to allow Minnesota to investigate this. It's just going to be this FBI with Cash Patel.
Bogus.
Who believes that's going to be fair?
Right.
They've already said they think anybody basically that opposes them is Antifa, and Antifa are domestic terrorists.
Right. Even though
And
they can't identify where their headquarters are or who the leaders of the
no,
organization are.
yeah, because There is nothing like that. I
No.
mean, we're all Antifa. If
We're
we're
all
anti-fascist.
Antifa.
Well, they're
It's
not.
anti-fascist. I mean,
They're not. But
they're not.
I mean, the point is
We
that
are. Yes.
anytime there's a protest, that you hear them. Oh, Antifa. They call it Antifa, and the reason why they keep doing that is because they want people to start thinking about that, and then they say Antifa are domestic terrorists.
Yeah. Or if you're the president of the United States, we're radical leftist scum.
Right. Well, this is what they did. The Nazis did. They
Yes.
dehumanize people. Well,
Yep.
you could replace Democrat because he always talks about the Democrats being scum and basically subhuman and traitors. Replace that with Jew. It's the same language.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what else can we say? I mean, I just have to say on a personal level, Marina, I am so sorry because I remember that night. I remember when you sent me the text message that you were there and that you got hit hard, were your exact words in the text. And then when I saw the video, because I did see the video, and I am going to keep looking for it on my end as well.
Hopefully somebody in government can find it if Democrats take control.
Yeah.
They might have better luck finding it, or finding out what's happened
but my
to
heart
it.
really, I really,
Because they can subpoena it. I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I really feel for Renee because that just really hit home for me. And just before I hopped on with you guys, I actually had to have a therapy session because
Well, good. You went to a therapy.
Yeah, it really triggered my PTSD, and I had a big cry session because it whether it made me more aware. I mean, I was always aware, but it just made me realize more like, you know what? We're just bodies to them. We're just bodies.
We're just in the way. Yeah.
And they have a mission, just like we have a mission, but their mission is just to get rid of us, just to make us not exist anymore. I don't know what the right word is, but
it's called eliminationists. That's what they are. They want to eliminate us.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared. I'm really terrified. I'm scared for what the future holds for us, for my daughter. I have a 14-year-old daughter, and it's like I don't know what she's gonna have to face, once I'm gone. What is she gonna deal with? And like what is life for her gonna be like? I'm like, are we still gonna be in this country? Are we gonna be in another country? Are we gonna be in Mexico? I'm like, do we have to work on our dual citizenship so we can leave this country? And it's like so funny too because I just got done, and like I said, I don't get into all this politics, and I don't get into like a lot of things. And for a while, I didn't know. I guess because I'm really like naive or whatever you might call it. The Handmaid's Tale. I finally watched the whole series, and I'm just like, oh my God, like
that's what they're trying to do.
What are we doing? Like,
right. Well, and to tie kind of, you talking about getting, dual citizenship to Mexico. And then, of course, and Anita and I were going to talk about this as well, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
And the what is it? The Donrovian? What is it?
He's calling the Donroe Doctrine. It's the Monroe Doctrine, and he thinks, and the Monroe Doctrine was not about colonizing all these countries. It was, I think, it was like it was a doctrine that was anti-colonist, other countries colonizing. I don't remember exactly, but I know it's not used in a positive. It's not viewed in a positive light.
And so basically, they want to control the hemispheres, right? So so Putin gets Europe, right? Xi, right? Mm-hmm. Xi gets can take over Taiwan. And
no, all of Asia.
All of Asia, right?
Yeah.
All of Asia, starting with Taiwan. And then the idea is then Donald Trump thinks that he can take over the Western Hemisphere.
All the Central American countries?
Yes.
Well, he's starting with Venezuela. Listen to what he's saying. When he talks about other countries, they're talking about acquiring Cuba, Mexico, Colombia, Greenland, Canada. these are all in our hemisphere, on the American continent, really. And that's what they're trying to divide up the world. He wants to be in charge of this hemisphere. And it's kind of, I mean, it's stupid, first of all, because he's taking the oil from Greenland. Not that I don't, that's going to be a failure anyway. But he thinks it's this big deal that he's going to take all this oil from Venezuela.
Venezuela.
And which is going to allow China to take Taiwan. That's the message he sent, the signal he's sending, that's okay. You know, might makes right. Go ahead and you take what we want. Russia takes Ukraine. I take Venezuela and whatever other countries in our hemisphere. And Taiwan manufactures like, I don't know, like 60% of semiconductors, which is the future. So he's going to acquire all this stupid oil from Venezuela, which is the past. And China's like, hey, yeah, we're going to take Taiwan. We're the future. So we're going to lose in this fight in the end. It's just dumb.
Yeah. Yes. And of course, just like everything else, he's, you know, bankrupting our country. He's going to bankrupt the countries that, you know, he wants to take over. You know, and so again, if you don't do politics, politics will do you one way or another. And yeah, so I mean it is. So we just have to, I think, you know, and because we're all mothers, I'm a grandmother and I share what, you know, your concerns, Marina, and I know that Anita shares the same concerns for her kids. That what is there going to be, you know, for the future generations, you know, if we don't stop this now. And so, you know,
he's going to start World War III. That's what he's going to do.
And so, you know, but, you know, so what can we do? We can do what we can in our own backyard. And I think that you have done so much of that work, Marina, to great risk. And I think that my thing is, and I think that it's going to be a tag team. I think that it's like, you know, you go out and you do what you can do. If it's just supplying groceries to families that are afraid to come out, helping out, you know, being helpers to the communities.
GoFundMe or donate some money
whatever,
to a food pantry.
Yeah, whatever way you can, and, you know, not necessarily putting your body in the way, but I feel that I am even more motivated to get out there and get my body physically in the way.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story. I think that's such an important story.
You're an inspiration, seriously.
You're really, I have so much admiration for you and how you've just moved. I mean, I'd be a basket case if something like that happened to me. And I think most people would. So I admire your ability to move on.
It hits me more when I'm alone. Because like my therapist says, I'm on survivor mode. And so when because I told him, like, sometimes I'm just really surprised myself that I'm not reacting a certain way. Like, why am I not reacting like this? But it's because she says I keep myself busy, because I tell her like when I'm driving to work or whatever, when it's more quiet and like no one's around me, my brain's quiet, I'll just,
when you're going to sleep, right? At night,
I start crying. I'll start crying and I'm like, why am I crying? And she's like, you're crying because everything that you're going to now, it's sinking into you because you're alone. You're everything's quiet, so you have time to process. And I was just like, I go, but I would think that I would want to process it when I have people around me. But I guess that's probably another story about myself of why I am the way I am, dealing with other kinds of trauma that I have. But like this, like, she's like, you're just on survival mode. Like, you know, you're over here, like, no time for this. Got to keep moving. How am I going to do this? How are we going to keep pushing forward? But then when everything's quiet, it's like.
But it's important that you're talking to a therapist about it so that you can deal with it.
I actually, I had put myself into therapy after all this has been happening because.
Yeah. Well,
I recognized some stuff that I was going through, and I was just like, okay, I need to go to therapy because I know this is me.
It just also kind of, I mean, it makes me think about these people that are being these immigrants that are being terrorized and just put into these detention camps, and just how much trauma they're going through
Well, and their
every day.
families
And they're not,
where they're
yeah.
left behind, without the means for survival. The trauma, it's so multifaceted, the trauma that's being inflicted.
It
Yeah.
is, and I've seen videos, and like that was the other thing, Karen, I had mentioned to you, like the whole thing when the whole tent, when the tent got taken out the first time with that influencer from California named Isaac Aglitas.
Hmm.
Um, that's where all the terrorists are showing, like more like, how he actually got shot at, and there's
Yeah.
videos out there, and that was the video I was trying to show everyone, like,
Yeah.
look, because there's some videos where one of the people um who were there that night, they posted it, and you could see the hole, the bullet, like that's not from a rubber bullet, that was
No.
a hole, like you could see it.
Wow.
And he has now finally, he just made it, they finally deported him. He's finally in Mexico now. I think he been like a couple of months that he made it back to Mexico now, since September, since
Hmm.
he got detained and everything. And he is now sharing his story and show he was actually able to get footage from being inside.
Yeah.
And he's
In the
showing
detention center?
Yes,
Um,
being inside it. He has interviewed people inside there.
Wow.
Wow.
He's
Yeah.
on, so
Where can we find that footage, or just?
um I can Sharon, I can actually forward you his profile because he shows more on Instagram than on TikTok. He goes live on TikTok,
Hmm.
but and he talks about certain things, but then other things he just goes on his Instagram because for some reason, or not for some reason, but he gets flagged a lot on TikTok.
Yeah, I've
Mm.
heard that's happening.
And
Hmm.
where on Instagram, he's able to show more and he shows his videos and stuff like that. I can go ahead and forward you his
That
profile.
would be great. And we can link
Um,
to it with
Yeah.
yeah,
this podcast.
actually talking about writing a book about his experience
That's
and then
amazing.
the people that he interviewed and saying and the stuff that they said and what he went through.
Sure.
He said that he
How long
actually
I'm sorry, how long was he here? Had he been here before he was detained by ICE?
so just before we got attacked on the 27th, he got taken few days prior to that. He was detained. No one knew what was going on. We just knew they had grabbed him because he was getting harassed by ICE. Because the reason why he was getting harassed by ICE was because he caught them live drinking and bringing alcohol to the facility,
Wow.
That's right.
and while still having their ammunition on them and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Hmm.
why he was a target. He became a target.
Hmm.
Yeah, that makes
At a
sense.
huge target, and they told him take it down, stop filming, whatever, telling him to go back to California. Like they were really harassing him, and he was like, and he actually made the night beat that he got captured, him and his friend that were here, they had to get if I'm not mistaken, they had to get a new room at a new hotel, new phones and everything. They had their windows covered up because they were saying they were even getting followed by drones. Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's how much they were getting harassed. They literally said, like, listen, we're making this video for our protection and we're documenting this. So in case something happens to us tonight, there's this video.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
he's saying because that's how bad that he was being targeted. And then that night he got taken in, not
Mm.
his friend, but he got taken in because he was the one that was saying all the stuff or whatever. So from there, we did not know much of him for almost a week or so. And then finally, we knew what was going on. He was at the detention facility. We don't know to this day. He has not really told us much how long he was at the Broadview facility, but from Broadview, then he got sent to another place, to another place. He just
They were
barely
moving them.
crossed over to Mexico within the last month or two, if I'm not
Sure.
mistaken.
Was he
Yeah.
here has he been in the United States though since he was a child, or what? Do you know?
That I don't know because at the time when he came to Broadview, everyone was under the impression that he was legal. Like he did
Mhm.
not care that he was not legal.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure of what his status was when he came to Broadview. I don't know if he was in the process of getting his citizenship or if he had his permission to
He
be
might have
here.
been a dreamer. He might have
He
been a
might have been
dreamer.
DACA. No?
Yeah, he might have been a dreamer. Yep. Was he?
I honestly really don't know that much because I did not know him. I've crossed paths with him being at the protesting before they put up the fence because that's how long he was here. He was
Yeah.
here before the fence got put up.
Yeah, I was too. I was over
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So
It'll be interesting to read his book then and find out like what his story
yeah.
is.
So he's the influencer who always helped serve the community, and he was doing that in California. Give
Mhm.
so I guess you could say he was an activist because
Mhm.
he was raising funds, getting kids book bags, people food, like he was doing stuff in
Yes.
California, and his viewers were the ones who flew him out here to Chicago to share awareness because he shared awareness of what was going on in California,
Yeah.
that he felt like he needed to share awareness, and because of his followers, that's why he was able to fly out here, get a phone, get a hotel room. So he had a huge following, and just for like when people are like, "Oh, what happened to Isaac?" I'm like, "Who's Isaac?" And then I started learning, and I was like, the more and more I knew about him, and then came the whole 27th thing that happened. So then there was,
Mhm.
and I started realizing more and more stuff about him and stuff like that, and then running to people who actually knew him, who I am friends with now, and because because of him, that's why they started
Yeah.
the whole getting groceries for families who have been
Yes.
impacted by ice.
He
Yeah,
You
was
yeah.
know,
now he was that influencer that was shot. Now the case was dismissed against him because people they saw the video, right? Evidence that showed that he didn't do
he
anything,
had
right?
his case was in the beginning of October. I don't know what happened to
It
what
was
ended up.
dismissed because there was no evidence. I mean, the evidence actually showed that he didn't. They tried to say, I think he attacked them first or something. I can't remember the details either.
I think
But
yeah, I think that I
but the
recall
case was
something.
dismissed. He won the case. I know
Yeah,
that. They were lying.
but they nonetheless detained him and
Yeah, he got deported
yeah.
anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the,
he explained how they mistreated him. They said that there was so this is how bad it was for him. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm gonna say it because he said it on his live. He said that there was times that they would take him out in public to go out to eat or whatever, and because it was a trap. He said that they did that so hoping that if he would try to flee, like he would try to run away,
oh my God. Yeah.
there that he said that they I know what they were trying to do, and they said like if you run, we'll shoot you, we'll kill you. So he said that there would be times where they purposely took him out to go eat. I'm just gonna name a place like Jersey Mike's or Panda Express, and they were treating him nicely, but I think they were hoping that he was gonna run away so that they can shoot and kill him
Yeah.
and fall for the
Wow.
trap. But he was like, yeah, he was like, but he was like, it was cold in there. My food. They would give me Subway sandwiches and it would be frozen. It would be old. Like, yeah, he mentioned the whole, how everything was
The
in there
conditions
and
were
the
terrible.
conditions
Yeah.
were
And he
terrible.
caught them drinking. And he caught them drinking on duty.
Prior to him getting
Prior to that.
detained,
Yeah, I know.
he
Prior.
had there. He was like, "Oh, what is that? You're drinking on the job?" They were drinking Bud Light.
Mm.
Oh God.
Ugh.
Yeah, and
Did
then
he expose that? Did he
had
Yes.
expose it?
videos
Yes.
or pictures of them being on the rooftop of the detention center, because that's where they were. They were
Yes.
like snipers drinking.
Oh, jeez. These guys, I mean, they're just so unfit for anything like this. They're just military and police
These
rejects.
guys. These guys here. The
What?
guys up behind me.
Oh,
Yep.
These guys
well,
up here. They were
I can't see
drinking.
him.
Yeah, you can't see them. But yes.
I'm not surprised. Remember that one, the ICE officer that was caught drunk driving with his kids in the truck?
Sure. Yeah.
He was
Well,
drunk off
we
his
had
ass.
somebody here in Oak Brook, an agent that was picked up after his shift, and he was for a
Yeah.
DUI, and they're prosecuting him.
They caught another one in a child sex ring, a child sex
And
trafficking ring.
as a matter of fact, that's where Isaac Cates had to be at, was in Oak Brook.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, listen, Marina, we were expecting just 20 minutes, but you
20
gave us
minutes.
like a full hour and
But you were
10
so
minutes.
interesting and really just, I mean, you're delightful, but it was really,
yeah, we're going to
the
have to
story.
do, I mean, we could do a part 2 to this, but, I mean, seriously, thank you for reaching out to me this morning. I thought about you. I told you I thought about you yesterday when the story was breaking, and I'm so glad that you called me because I think that this is such an important conversation to have. And I really, seriously, I just want to say you are like one of my heroes. And you're an inspiration.
Absolutely.
And I think about you all the time. When I get tired, I think about you. So I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky to have met you in this last year.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I've been blessed to have you in my life, Karen. God brought us in each other's path for a reason, and and who would have known that you lived down the street from my grandmother?
I
And
know.
I drive past your house every single day, and it was for this kind of situation for us to meet. I'm lucky to have you because you have been teaching me a lot of stuff, and I'm learning. Some things I'm just like, but I was like, you've made me very aware about some things, and I've just like, as much as I hate politics, I've come to realization that I have a voice and I need to use it, and I need to get myself more educated and informed. Just like if I'm trying to inform everyone else about ICE, I need to get myself more informed and more educated on these whole politics and what our future holds for us.
Yeah,
And
it's important. Like you said, for your
so-
children, for your daughter.
We all
Exactly.
have to, we all have to be a coalition. And that is truly how we are going to take this back, is with people
right.
having knowledge and coming together. And, because we can't do it, through weapons, because, we're not going up against the U.S. military. So the only way that we can do this is electorally. And so we just have to, we have 11 months, right? A little less.
A lot of work to do.
A lot of work, and a lot of work to make sure people understand that the only way that we get accountability and justice for what we've had to go through in 2025 and into 2026 is to get as many Democrats in office so that we can hold these people accountable and get justice.
I don't think this country will survive if we don't.
No, we have to. It's imperative. Yep. Yep. So, well, thanks again, and we really appreciate you coming on, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in, and support us on Patreon if you can. Get the podcast and share the podcast wherever people get their podcasts. You can get TruBlu Politics Podcast, and we love you all, and stay in the fight.
Yeah.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye.